Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Great Big Plugin Show. My name is Mark Abrams. I'm here with Puremix.com, and every other Monday we pull up a random plugin and do a live stream where you guys get to help me out in the chat over here, where you guys get to help me out and tell me, things that you want to hear the plugin on, or anything that you'd like to see me do with it as well. So a little bit more fun than us doing like a static record video and putting it up on YouTube as a plugin review. You guys get to be a part of the show, which is great. So before we get started, I always like to do a little bit of Puremix housekeeping and let you guys know what's up. And I got some pretty exciting news this week. So first off, very excited to announce that we're doing a mixing contest, first one in a while, featuring David Bendeth and The Warning. So there's a video available on Puremix.com right now with David Bendeth pulling up the original multi-track from that session, recalling his original mix, explaining every move of it, and then he actually goes through and he does another balance and another couple automation passes and really explains the why behind what he's doing on the console there, which is really cool. So with this mixing contest, you guys are going to get to download the multi-track from The Warning. The song is called Money, and mix the song for a chance to win a bunch of awesome plugins. So David Bendeth's collection, there's the plus 10 dB bundle. He's got samples included in the prizes from his Steven Slate drum library. He's got some samples that he did with Kingsway Music, and there's a whole bunch more. The prize package is massive. It's everything David Bendeth, guitar tones of his from STL Tones, and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of great prize packages. But even cooler than that is on let me look at my calendar, May 12th, we are going to do a wrap-up live stream. So this is a short mixing contest. It's only 2 weeks. There's going to be a wrap-up live stream with David Bendeth coming on to judge the top 10 mixes. He's going to pick his top 3, and the band is going to join us as well. So we're going to have The Warning on the live stream with David to help choose the winner and explain what they loved about the mixes. And if that wasn't enough, Rick Beato, the Rick Beato, that you've probably seen on YouTube and everything, is going to join the live stream as well to give his 2 cents on the winning mixes and all of that. So we've got mixing contest with a bunch of prizes, David Bendeth, The Warning, and Rick Beato all coming for the wrap-up live stream on May 12th. That'll be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So everybody save the date. You're going to be seeing, if you're a Puremix member, you'll be seeing the email for how to join the mixing contest and all that coming to your email very soon. And make sure you jump on it because this one's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about it. It's a short one too, so we got to get to work. But outside of that, we have a video series launching on Friday with Fab DuPont and the team from Universal Audio featuring their Motown series of products. So everything from the Motown Hitsville Reverb and the new EQ collection. They brought in Louis Cato to Flux Studios, and they recreated Tears of a Clown on camera, and we get to see the entire start to finish of that. So if you've seen the video, the UA Apollo sessions with Louis Cato doing that song, this video is the start to finish of that actually coming together. And you get to see crazy stuff like them cutting the front drum head in half to stuff it with newspaper, because that's how it was done in Motown. And basically everything inside of this video is trying to recreate that Motown sound. So that comes out on Friday. Next week, we have the final installment of the history of the recording techniques for the Beatles. That is Era 4. So you're going to get to see a pretty cool rendition of Come Together in that series, and that'll wrap up our History of the Beatles Recording Techniques series. So all of that is our wrap up. That's just the next couple weeks coming up on Puremix. So it's going to be pretty exciting. We've been very busy. Great stuff happening. And today we are here, of course, to review the Magic Death Eye compressor. And this one's going to be a little bit of a twofer because there's 2 plugins involved with this whole thing. There's the mono version and the stereo version. Before we jump into all that, I'm going to steal a line from one of my friends who does a YouTube channel or an Instagram thing called Saturday 16s. And show us that you care, like, comment, and share. It helps us keep the channel going and do more content like this. So please hit those buttons and all of that jazz. That's enough of that. Let's jump in here. So I have the website pulled up for the Magic Death Eye compressor. And on here, let's talk a little bit about what it is. This is a hardware unit initially that was created by Ian Shefchik from Capitol. He's a mastering engineer at Capitol Records, and he basically hand wires these compressors. They're available as a hardware unit, but he hand wires each one, so it takes a while to get them, and they're very expensive. So the plugin's nice to have, and it basically is loosely based on a Fairchild. So looking through the website here, it's some usual stuff. It gives you some background on it. You guys can check it out. This is distributed by DDMF, so ddmf.eu if you want to go read the page, and all of that. So this is the mono version, and there's a couple features in this one that are not in the stereo one and vice versa. So we're going to take a look at both of them today, and I'll just go over to this product page for the stereo version. This guy has a blackface on it, and has some extra stuff. Like there's an EQ circuit in the stereo version, which it has some handy mastering features, but it's also probably going to be really handy on mono sources. This is my first time trying out this plugin. I played with it for about 2 seconds before the show, and I'm already pretty impressed, I gotta say, but this is my first time going into this one too, so we're going to discover this thing together. So again, you guys in the chat above me, let me know what you want to hear it on, and if you want me to do some crazy stuff with it while we're in the middle of the show, yell at me in the chat, and we'll do it. This will be really fun. All right, so I won't read the website to you. You can go check it out. Let's dive into some Pro Tools fun. So here we go. Let me get over to Pro Tools. All right. Cool. So I have a session pulled up. We've been using this one a bit on the show. This is a song from Illiterate Light. You can watch the entire start to finish series with this one featuring Vance Powell on Puremix.com as well. And this song is called Sweet Beast. It's awesome. I just have the stems pulled up here. This is not an actual mix, but it's certainly going to serve our purposes. And if you've seen anything from Vance Powell, you know that his multi-tracks usually end up sounding like a mix anyway. So there's that. So first thing I thought we'd dive in on is trying it out on some vocals. So I've got Jeff's vocal here, and right now it's totally dry. We're going to pull up the mono version of the plugin. So Magic, Death Eye, Mono, and here it is. So one unfortunate thing is that this does not have a GUI resize. So I apologize if it's small on your screens, especially for you guys on your phones. It's pretty tiny, and I'm on a 4K monitor, and things like the output volume, there's like a little screw here and it says output volume up here. There's a wet dry screw down here. I can barely read that text. In fact, I had to like get up and like look into it earlier today. So that's something. But let's go over the actual features of the plugin from left to right. So this is again the mono version. You're going to see some different stuff in the stereo when we get there. But going left to right, we got a super cool looking meter. We've got a balance screw, which isn't doing anything, but I'm sure that LED is going to tell us some info. Can't turn the meter screw. Input knob, and I read in the manual that, you know, as we drive this, it starts pushing into the tube and the transformer and all that, so we'll get some harmonic saturation. We've got an output volume screw here, which I can adjust. You guys can probably barely see that there, but I can adjust that one. And below that, we've got our wet dry screw. And then we've got a threshold knob here. And then over here, we've got our time constants. So this is where things start looking very familiar to a Fairchild. We've got 4 time constants and then 2 more that have dual stage release. So this is the same on the Fairchild. And what dual stage release is you have a fast release and then it kicks into a slower release. So there's 2 different variations of that, D1 and D2 as noted on this guy, but this is very reminiscent of a Fairchild. And then over to the left, they give us a couple more options. So we have the ability to further modify the attack times of these 4 time constants on the left here. So we can, you know, even number 1 is the fastest, just same as a Fairchild. Number 1 is going to be your fastest attack and release. And then we could use this modifier over here to kick it up a gear and go even faster than the fastest, which on a Fairchild is pretty fast. And that's fast. So we can also turn it down. We can make it a slower one and then just take advantage of the faster release. So we could slow the attack, but still use the fast release. So it just makes it a little bit more flexible than those locked-in time constants that we have with the Fairchild. Over to the right of that, we have a 150 hertz filter on the side chain. So if you want to keep your kick drum or low energy information from triggering the compression stage, you can kick that guy on. Then we just have a simple in-out bypass. Cool. That's that guy. Let's check it out on a vocal. One of the reasons I wanted to do this one, we did a live stream with Michael Brower pretty recently. It was a Q&A, and he has this in his template, and he was kind of talking about how he loves it on vocals and the character that it does for it. Specifically, he mentions it pops out the mid-range and in a really pleasing way. So I've been dying to kind of check this guy out, and I did so. You can do a demo on their website, but the demo does do the whole like really calm, soothing white noise thing, white noise bursts every once in a while. So I figured for the show I would spare you guys of that, and I actually I did spend my hard-earned money on this one. So there's no endorsements or anything. This is going to be a totally clean review, if you will. So all right, let's get into it. So I'm going to check out Jeff's vocal through this. I'm going to put it back in default here. And let's just listen to it bypassed. Let me find a good section to check out. We'll just go with this verse. First couple lines here. Here we go. So this is off.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
All right, let's turn it on and see what we get. I'm just going to play with some knobs here and see what happens.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
Awesome. I'm liking that already. It's very smooth. I'm going to actually kick up the attack even faster and just see if we can bury this thing.
I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
So I'm noticing that on the word my in the last line. So I'm just going to go over to that and I'll hit bypass. Check this out.
Is my head. Is my head.
And then with the plugin.
Is my head. Is my head.
So that's pretty cool. Let's slow the attack down.
Is my head.
So it's letting that first initial syllable kind of go through if we slow it down. So what might be cool on this too is like a parallel sound, the way that it's kind of adding some harmonic stuff and beating things down. Let's go with the fastest setting that we can. And so I'm setting this attack to fast. I've got the time constant at 1, and I'm going to bury this thing, and then I'm going to peel the wet dry back and use it as a parallel vocal compressor. So let's see what happens.
I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
All right, so I'm bringing the wet dry to 0, and now I'm going to blend it in.
I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
Bypass.
I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
On.
I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
So pretty cool. It's definitely smoothing it out and then adding some presence, kind of popping that vocal forward. I'm hearing all that, but it's a little quieter, so I'm just going to boost the output a hair. Let's try it again. So here we are, bypass.
I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
This thing's cool. I like it. There's a weight to it. Okay, so let's see. Raymond Turner says that there's a surprise if we click on the eye on the left of the plugin. I love surprises. Let's see. I already know about this, but check it out. We've got a changed VU meter in many ways. VU meter, inspiration. VU meter. Inspiration. So I wonder if she's looking fondly on the meter if it stays below 2 dB of gain reduction, if that's what she's trying to tell us. And that meter, I think, stays in front of her.
I bet again.
And I appreciate it, but I want to see what's going on with the meter. Oh, let's see if it changes the sound of it. Let's see. So here's without.
I bet again. My own worst enemy. I bet again. My own worst enemy. 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 My own worst enemy.
There's something going on there. Raymond, what's it doing to the sound? It sounds like more of a mid pop on there.
My own worst enemy is my head. My own worst enemy is my head.
Interesting. Okay, it's not just a fancy VU meter. There's something going on there. That's really fun. All right, I like it. Let's try this out on bass. Let's see what else we got going in the comments. We got DC Studio Roads from Athens, Greece. Good to see you. Paulino from Mexico. Very cool. Justin, thanks for joining. Santiago, good to see you. Reggie, we got Isomatic in there. It's good to see you guys. Okay, let's go over to the bass. This is a very compressed bass, but let's see what we get anyway. Let's check out the DI. So here it is raw. Oh, that's right. This is a synth bass, so that's probably not going to be a great example. Let's do. Well, let's jump over to everything else is already pretty treated. Let's go over actually to Jealousy. This is from Brandy and the Alexanders, and this is a troublesome vocal that if anybody has seen on the show, we've explored this one for dealing with a peak that happens at the very beginning of it. This was tracked by Mick Guzowski, and this band was on fire that day. He was still dialing into sounds on the take early on, and as you can see from the waveform in this, it gets more compressed as it goes, and all of that stuff is under control. But in the beginning, he hadn't quite set that yet, so we can play with that for the fast attack settings and just see if it'll grab it. I'm interested to see what'll happen with this. Okay, so Magic Death Eye is up. Let's try and dial something in on Brandy.
Why you gotta make me feel so defeated? Why you make me look so green in the eye? Oh, you overpower me. Why you gotta make me feel so defeated? Why you make me look so green in the eye? Oh, you overpower me so instinctively.
Without?
Why you make me look so green in the eye? Oh, you overpower me.
With?
Why you make me look so green in the eye? Oh, you overpower me so instinctively. No matter where I run, I just can't overcome. I know that you're lying to me, that the grass ain't so green. I know it isn't so.
Okay, I want to know what's going on with this logo. We're going to go over to our analyze section here. So, several weeks ago, we tried out the EQ curve analyzer. And I'll say this probably every time that we do this is I like to do this once and then never think about it again. Okay, so we don't like unexpected errors. Hold on here. Let's pull up our plugin. Let's pull up the curve analyzer. Let's see. It's preventing it from working and it wants me to update. I don't want to update. All right, we're going to pray that it doesn't crash Pro Tools. There we go. Let me stretch this out a little bit. Make sure you guys can see. I pulled up the stereo on here. Let's pull up the mono. Magic. Doesn't like what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. So this thing has a flat response, as we can see, with it just running through it. And let's kick on the... I don't understand why you're mad. Apparently I need to update. We're not going to update today. I'm going to try this one more time, and we'll switch to something else. Okay, so nothing. Must be a harmonic thing happening, because I thought I heard something. You guys hearing something when we turn on it? Let me know. Yes, Paul, that is a serious peak in that vocal. Tortilla is joining us from Mars. Vince from Houston. Those are two very distant places from each other. Okay, so that's all I wanted to try. EQ curve analyzer is being a bit of a jerk. I hate that noise. And let's go back here. So back on Jealousy. Let's go over to the bass, and we'll do one more example just with the bass here using the mono version, and then let's switch over to the stereo and see what's going on there. All right, so here's our mono guy, and on the bass, so here's bypass. Go to a more compressed section. Should say louder. Okay, let's try to dial something in. So right off the bat, I'm really enjoying the ability to adjust the attack time on these time constants, because I wanted a faster release than what I was getting when I was on number 3. So I went back to number 2, but then the attack was a little too fast. So having the mod there to be able to slow the attack time down and change that constant was pretty awesome. So let's check this out. We'll try our trick again to see if it changes. Yeah, so I'm definitely hearing some upper harmonics happening. It's subtle, but it's pretty awesome. All right, time to consult our manual. Let's find out what's going on here. So I have the manual pulled up, and let's see. They don't mention the Easter egg comment, do they? Clicking on the output adjust. It doesn't look like it. Boo. They don't tell us. So it's totally an Easter egg that if you click on this, it'll change the sound a little bit, which is cool. All right. Let's head over to the stereo version. 6 of 1 says you might be right on the mids. Mousequake, what's happening? Good to see you, dude. I've been digging your Instagram posts. Okay, I'm going back over to Sweet Beast. And let's do the stereo version. I want to try this out on a drum bus. So we'll close this guy up and this guy, and let's bring up the stereo version. I don't have this guy routed to a drum bus, so here we go. Let's do a drum M. Get down there where it belongs. And I won't worry about this plate. Okay, so we'll get it loaded up. Magic. Stereo. Okay, so you can see again, you can run the mono version in stereo, but they have the stereo version as well. So we're going to click on this guy, and let's go over the interface on this because it's a little different. Still, no GUI resize capabilities here. if we click on the logo, it doesn't do the VU thing, but it does change colors. And I did read this in the manual before. Let me show you guys. That enables oversampling. I don't remember where they talk about this. Let's see, oversampling. There we go. Click on the Magic Death Eye logo tag. This will engage X1 oversampling. Click a second time for 2x oversampling. A third click goes back to normal. Logo tag changes colors, and the text below it changes the indicated oversample rate. I checked this out on the analyzer. I should show you guys too. And I actually saw a high frequency bump on this, which is very interesting indeed. So, Magic, stereo. All right, let's see. So I'll try and blow this up again. I think we got about 5 seconds before it decides it's going to die on us. Yeah, there it goes. All right, one more time. And I'm just going to do it here. So you can see up in the top end when I double click that, when I go into 2x oversampling, we get a little bit of a top end boost. So just something to be aware of as we go through. When I demo that, you're going to hear a little bit of a top end boost. All right. So let's get rid of these guys so they don't crash our system, as it does sometimes. Let's go back to Sweet Beast. And I need to see my drum master. Thank you. Okay. Let's check this out. So here are our drums raw. Here we go. So I had it on when I first started playing, and when I bypassed, I heard it change. So let's check it out. Here we go. So I'll do bypass, and then we'll go put it on here. Here we go. So in this one, I'm hearing the tone of it a lot quicker than I was on the mono version of it, just coming out of bypass. And it's not just a level bump. I thought that they were trying to fool us with the input knob being up at 4, but I'm hearing like a extension of the low end, like a transformer would do. I'm hearing a little bit of harmonics happening. This one has some vibe to me right away that I may have missed on the mono, but I definitely heard it on this guy. So going over the interface from left to right, we can go into 4x on the logo. And then we've got a couple, we got a status indicator. We can change the harmonic balance on this one, which is super cool. So it starts at 50, which is to emulate the hardware. I read this in the manual as well earlier. 50% is supposed to be the true to form emulation of the hardware unit. And then we can decide if we want to crank that up or turn it down. So we'll end up back at 50%. I'll reset it when we go. But going to the right of that, we've got a low cut on there. So this is going to be a low cut on the output path. I did check that earlier. We've got 20 hertz and we've got 30 hertz. So we can do a low cut on there. Handy for mastering features for sure. And then to the right of that, we have an added EQ section, which is great. So we got a low and a high on this. And the band points, which you guys probably can't see, are 20, 40, and 100. And reading through the manual, 20 and 100 are both low shelves. 40 is a parametric bump. So know that. Sorry, not parametric. It's just it's a bell. That's what I meant to say. It's a bell. If it was parametric, we could change it from 40, but we can't. Going to the right, we've got a high control. Our EQ points are 5 kilohertz, 12 kilohertz, 18 kilohertz, and those are all bells from what I saw earlier. Attack, our time constants have the same functions over here. So we have that attack mod, and then we've got our 6 controls. 5 and 6 are still dual stage release. And on the bottom row, input, threshold, master out. We've got fine gain control on the master out. And yeah, one thing I forgot, well, no, we did do it. We did the parallel. I was going to say I forgot to mention the wet dry on the mono, but we did play with that. This one does not have wet dry. So this guy is just all in. The final buttons, you have the option, the threshold link. You've got a 200 hertz filter and then a side chain to engage a side chain on there. That would be for an external key. 200 hertz filter is the filter on the internal side chain if you want to ignore everything under 200 hertz at a certain slope. Okay, if you guys know any other cool tricks or Easter eggs that are buried inside of this, let me know. All right, so let's try it on a drum bus. I'm going to go back to factory default and let's hear it. Okay, I just about have the gain matched up here, roundabout. I wanted to hear what happens when I just push the unit. So I want to hear that harmonic saturation. I cranked up the balance to 100, and we're just listening to the tone of it. I haven't done anything with compression yet. Just trying to listen to what happens if I just push it. So I'm going to play it raw and then bring in the Magic Death Eye. And then I'm going to do it again, raw, and then I'll bring in the Magic Death Eye. But the second time, I'm going to crank up the oversampling with our logo guy here to 4x. So here we go. Cool, so I heard it getting a little crunchy. Let's do it again with the oversampling. So here's clean, and then I'll bring it in. Nice, and I'm picking up on a little bit of that vibe with it in oversampling more than I was without. It's definitely there, but I'm hearing more. And also remember, we got that little bit of the top end boost, the shelf on the very top of it there. So now let's go through and try to make a really cool sounding drum bus compressor. Here we go. So the way I'm going to approach this is I'm going to probably drive up the input a little bit and get some of that same harmonic stuff going. I'm going to bring the master out down, and then I'm going to just kind of probably bury it a bit, and I'm going to play with those time constants to see if I can get a groove happening out of the compressor. So here we go. Okay, so that might be cool. While that's extremely overcompressed, it might be cool as, oh, that's right. We're on the stereo version. I don't have wet dry because I was going to use it as a parallel blend on there, but I'm going to have to calm down and bring my threshold down. So that is something I like to do on compressors. If you haven't gotten that trick yet, is kind of bury it down, set your timing so that you get the release happening in a way that feels cool with the track. So in this way, I wanted it to go fast and like smash things down and then just kind of breathe as it opens up. So we're going, boom, kind of like hearing that release pop back up. Sorry for my crazy mouth noises. So now I'm going to just back off the threshold so I'm getting less compression and we'll see if it feels cool. And because I don't have that wet dry, I'm going to just put it on a medium attack. Awesome. So one of the things that I'm hearing is the extension of the low end. So I love how Vance made this kick drum just super long, and it's a note value in itself. And this is, I feel like, bringing out some of that, which is a really cool thing. And it might be a good option to throw it on the kick and see if you could just do it there instead of doing a drum bus thing. But I'm enjoying how much I can dial this in. And I think I'll try to extenuate that a little bit more by playing with this, not with the low cut, but let's try boosting a little bit on the EQ. So I'm going to start at 20 and we'll start bringing up the low band and see if we can make that happen. So here we go. All right, super cool. I'm really digging this. So one important part of this is the EQ is post compression. So it's not feeding into the sidechain at all, into the detector. This is happening after compression. So you can boost this stuff and not worry about like it clamping down further. Let's try out 40. That's fun. If you've got some good low end in your system, that's just kind of like bringing up the kick, especially like what I'm hearing in the rooms and that's spread out. It's feeling good. It's a good groove. Let's play with 100. Sometimes when you know, 40 is the way to go on that. Let's play around with this high shelf here, so or high bump. This is a bell EQ. So here's 5K. That feels great. Let's hear 12. A little bit of shimmer. Let's go up to 15. Or is that 18? I can't see and I can't make it bigger. All right. Let's the top one. I think it's 18. It's nice. It opens up the top. Let's go back to 5. I think I was digging that. Okay, so I call this a usable drum bus. Let's hear the before and after. So here's before. Okay, so there I just played around with the 40 hertz, changing that band to 40 hertz on the bottom, and then using the low cut at 20 to kind of create a little bit of a bump in the EQ curve. I love when I have to try to do these things. It's pretty funny. Awesome. Okay. Smoking Fudo's digging it. Paul Lucas, can you explain the dual release? Is it just a different release for left and right? So dual release stage, and anybody please jump in if I'm explaining this wrong, but it's you basically have two release constants or constants. So the first, if I'm doing my hand signals here, let's say this is time, right? And this is like the front of time. So the fastest point, and then this is the back end. Basically, dual release, you're kind of cutting that time in half, and for the first part of the release, you have a faster release, and then you have a slower release on the back half. So as it goes, the release is going to move quickly and then slow down over time, right? And if you go to, I believe, like 6, I think that you can get this as slow as like 10 seconds on here, which just sounds crazy. But this was, going back to the Fairchild thing, this was kind of a deal that I believe it just had to do with mastering and vinyl cutting. But I'm going to stop talking about that because I'm not an expert on it, and I don't want to say the wrong thing there. So let's check out what this sounds like with just the crazy dual stage release. Here we go. So you can even kind of see it in the meter. Let me just solo one snare and demonstrate it that way. So we're just going to take this one snare drum and make sure I'm not in loop. We get out of loop playback and watch the needle as it goes back down. Let me bury it more. So you can see when it gets back to that, those last couple dB, it just kind of slows down on there. Let's try on 5. And I'm just going to copy this up to the snare drum. We'll solo the snare and listen to that. On 6. So on the needle right now, it just kind of looks like one long release, but basically that's the idea: is it releases quickly and then it slows down after that. So it's something to play with. Let's see if that 40 hertz boost is pretty nice smoking. I agree. If they do a better explanation of dual release, so dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so time knob 5 and 6 are dual release settings, meaning there's an initial fast release and then a slower release. So that's basically it. It's like going through 2 release stages, but you can't change their constants, which is interesting. Cool. Martin, what's up? Good to see you. All right, so that is both of the plugins. Let's try this out. Let's just throw it on the master. And again, this isn't a mix, but let's just check it out anyway. We'll leave our drum bus compressor on there because that was kind of fun, and I really dig that 40 hertz bump that's happening in there. Okay, so over to our master. This guy, I believe they say in the manual that it also has a clipping stage on it. Let's go read that before we dive in. So I thought I saw something in here, clipping. So here we go. Oh, this is a good notion here. If you control click the input knob and or the output knob, it will link them. So let's try it. So I'm holding down control, and as I bring up the output, it's bringing back as I bring up the input, it's bringing back the output. This is one of my favorite things about the Pulsar 1178, and you guys let me know some other compressors do this as well. But if I have to do the whole, two-hand twisty on an actual hardware thing, if I have to do that in a plugin, I love having the option to just bring up one and have the other come down with it. On the Pulsar, you hold down Shift and turn up the input, and the output comes down naturally. On this one, it's Control, which is cool. Maybe we need to get a standard for that, guys. Let's talk to AES. Okay. Should it be shift or control? All right, let's see this thing on the mix.
Master plan.
I've got a little plate set up with the Arturia R140 or the plate 140, and I believe I set this guy super short, and then I did a dry wet blend, and I'm just getting a slap out of it. So just so you can hear that. Here we go.
Master plan. I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Master plan. I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, and it's all day long. Calculated confidence, stay strong. Master plan. I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, and it's all day long.
Okay, so I just drove the input stage. I used that trick with control to turn down the output, and then I cranked up the harmonics, and we're getting saturation, we're getting all that tone, but I also hear the stereo image folding a little bit, right? So that's something to be aware of. Let me show you guys that in bypass, and then unbypass it.
Master plan. I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
It's subtle, it might be hard to hear on YouTube, but it's happening. So 50% on this guy. I'm going to back this off. Let's just be generous and go, say, halfway. All right, and then we'll turn up our threshold.
Master plan. I bet again.
So same idea here. I'm going to try and bury it and then just see if I can find a cool groove with these time constants.
Master plan. I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, and it's all day long. Calculated confidence, stay strong. Sweet beast on a sweet leash, trying so hard to escape. Alright, baby, alright. Can we find another way?
Love how that's smoothing out the vocal if I just kind of chill on it. I wasn't finding something that was grooving the same way as we did with the drum bus compressor, but I'm getting a nice gentle compression, even though I'm on the fastest setting. I turned down the attack speed on that, so getting a quick release. Let's try something a little bit slower.
Master plan. I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. My own worst enemy. My own worst enemy.
Okay, check this out. So I've got the attack set to slow right now, but when I go to 4, it's really slowing that attack down. And listen to the peak that happens on enemy. So here we go. Here's on 3.
My own worst enemy.
4.
My own worst enemy.
Let's see if we speed up the attack time if we get rid of it.
My own worst enemy.
There you go. So you can smooth it out even with that slower attack time. That's a really handy feature. I dig that a lot. All right, so
My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, and it's all day long. Calculated confidence, stay strong. My own worst enemy is my head.
Bypass.
My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, my own worst enemy is my head.
Okay, so that's like a very slow, gentle compression thing. Smoking Fudo says vocal seems more up front. I agree. This is again also I would like the vocals too loud, but sometimes you get masters. You have to master something and the vocals loud like this, so it's a cool real world example. So let's call this like our slow, gentle guy for a minute, and then I want to see if I can add some vibe with the EQ a little bit, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a faster style stereo bus compressor. And let's also play with the oversampling. So let's do that first on this setting.
My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, and it's all day long. Calculated confidence, stay strong.
That 4X really does a lot. There's that high-end bump on it, but things also cleared up for me. That's definitely cool. Let's play around with the EQ.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, and it's all day long. Calculated confidence, stay strong. Sweet beast on a sweet leash, trying so hard to escape. Alright, baby, alright. Can we find another way?
Those guys need some treatment, but
Master
that's not why we're here today. Okay, I found a cool, the 40 I love again, and I boosted 3 dB of it. I played around with the low cut. I didn't like what it was feeling. That might be a little too much low end, but, we're having fun.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong,
We started here.
master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy,
Here we are.
master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm digging it. This thing's really cool. We'll do one more example. I'll just do a little bit of a faster style on the stereo bus. Here we go. Oh, you know what we should try before I do that is let's just crank up these harmonics and see what happens.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, and it's all day long. Calculated.
This is really cool. I'm loving this thing. And I'm glad because I bought it. So I'm really happy that this is cool. Awesome. All right. I'm going to actually just keep that guy on there. We'll do one more example, do some fast settings. I'm going to leave the same EQ moves that I did because those are great. And, they're cool. Let's go fast. Here we go.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head. Right or wrong, and it's all day long. Calculated confidence, stay strong. Sweet beast on a sweet leash, trying so hard to escape. Alright, baby, alright. Can we find another way?
So on this one, I'm letting more of those peaks go through and then trying to recover quickly. But I definitely had to use my ear for that instead of watching the meter because it's not. I'm hearing something a little different than what I'm seeing, even though I believe the meter and all that. But you definitely got to use your ear for those things. So in this one, this approach, I was like, let's bring out some more of the transient stuff, the faster transients. So here's where we started.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy.
Where we are.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
I don't like that high shelf quite as much on this one, but there's the example. And then here's our slow guy again.
Master plan, I bet again. My own worst enemy is my head.
Yeah, so I mean, vibe-wise, I like that, and obviously, if this was a mix, it would need some work, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, 6 of 1 is hearing a ton of vocal parts. Brian Burton, yes, crank them up. Yes, crank all of them up. Awesome. Yeah, this is such a good song. Definitely watch that start to finish, guys. It's killer. But there it is, Magic Death Eye, the compressor, mono and stereo. I love it, and I can definitely see the uses for both. Again, remember the mono has that wet dry knob. It's a little screwy, you got to find it, but it has that wet dry, and it can be a really cool parallel vocal processor, as well as just a great compressor. So yeah, I'm glad it turned out awesome because I paid money for it, and that's great. So there it is. Check out the demo. ddmf.eu is where you get it. And definitely check out Ian Shefchik on Instagram and all of that. He's done some amazing work. He's an incredible engineer. And the fact that he just builds these on the side is pretty rad. And then they made a plugin out of it. And I remember hearing about this thing forever ago, both the plugin, but also the hardware. And like it just looking like such a cool unit. And it was like, man, I definitely couldn't afford it, but I would love if there was a plugin out there for that thing. And then it came out. So if you want to know more about it, check out Michael Brower's template video. Check out his mixing videos on Puremix. He uses this on vocals, and he explains a little bit about it, what he uses it for, especially in relation to getting a certain tone out of a vocal. And yeah, I think that'll about do it for us. So again, guys, watch your emails for the start of the mixing contest. David Bendeth featuring The Warning. The song is called Money. The live stream is May 12th. Rick Beato, Dave Bendeth, The Warning, all live with us, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. I will see you guys next Monday for another episode of Mix Tank. Again, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And that's about it for us today. So, yeah, thanks, everybody. Remember to hit the like, share, subscribe buttons, and we will see you next time. Cheers.